Well, as Harrison Ford once said, if we would have asked the people what they wanted, they would have asked for a faster C++. What made me learn Rust? I wanted to write an operating system in 3 weeks. I first wanted to write my own systems programming language, but I thought that's too complicated for people. And then I discovered Rust, and now I just don't mind that it's too complicated for people. People say, choose the right tool for the job. In the Rust community, we say, choose the right job for the tool. I'm a regular contributor to 14 projects. I actually got the original. When I see a C++ dev, what I see is a future Rust dev. Macro expansion. Bounded polymorphism. WebAssembly. The problem with mediocrity. I let my threads panic. For pleasure. Those of you coming from functional programming languages will be pleased. Those of you coming from OOP languages will also be pleased. In interpreted languages, you need a lot of imagination. My metric of self-worth is bound to prevented CVEs and Puni awards. Did you know that according to Microsoft, 70% of all CVEs are due to memory leakage? In C++, you need to worry about memory because of memory errors. In Java, you need to worry about memory because of the garbage collector. In Rust, you don't need to worry about memory because you need to worry about borrowing, which is a new concept that in Haskell, everything is just cloned. I mean, what? Do we have infinite resources? In JavaScript, you need to worry about memory because you need to worry about JavaScript. In C, macros were a pain. We solved that in Rust. Now nested macros are a pain. I mean, there is no such thing as a perfect programming language. Rust is merely a statically typed, low-level, multi-paradigm, perfect programming language. Well, the fiasco with Tokyo memory safety with locking is, you know those algo coding tools where you learn the language through play and games? So here we actually teach to learn Rust through games, although you're not going to play very much if you don't have strong fundamentals in Rust.
And which part did you write in Rust? The front end or the back end?
No, the browser. Not everyone learns Rust in a lifetime. I actually wrote a custom new version of the Rust compiler. It's a little stricter with error handling. Essentially, you're being tasered when you make an error. How else you're going to learn low-level programming? I'm currently rewriting the color blue to Rust. The main problem Rust has and solves by itself is the borrow checker references to an object. But if you parallelize, you need to parallelize manually. And that means, well, in other languages, you don't even have parallelization, so. Rust is so good, its aliasing tracking found LLVM's own bugs. The disadvantages? Rust thinks you can't keep object lifetimes in your head. And there is no reward when dealing with large library dependency graphs. Is Rust good for game development? Rust is good for everything. There are currently 5 games written in Rust and 50 game engines. Race conditions are fundamentally unsolvable. You can't fix what's broken on the OS level, unless you're using an OS written in Rust, of course. Again, I'm not here to tell you that Rust is the best language. You should have figured by now. The best JS bundler is written in Rust. TurboPack, 20 times faster than any bundler written in JS. That's some undercover marketing right there. You can't trust humans, but you can always trust the code, the compiler. Another superpower of Rust, testing in Rust is cheaper because we're all geniuses. In Rust, you need to see the compiler as your friend that helps you with your stupidity. Map error exists, but its method trait bounds were not satisfied. Linked lists. Rust requires unlearning many horrible programming patterns from other horrible languages. Rust will finally unite C and C++ encoders from all other programming languages. I actually have a macro for the unsafe command. It's called trust me. Welcome to memory management in Rust. We compiled the entire company at runtime. But of course, the normal normie kernel dev will come across more difficult challenges. So this is a concept that you haven't heard before Rust. In fact, actually no one has. We have traits, lifetimes, no states. Is this a joke? Yeah, so these are called traits.
So it's like interfaces in Java.
Yeah, we don't mention Java in here. Rust is, imagine you would throw all advantages from all languages together. Now your code is unreadable, but it's memory safe. Option, not maybe in Rust. This isn't Haskell, but it could be with a few tweaks. Memory leakage is considered safe. Not calling destructors is considered safe, because memory leakage is considered safe. Even if it leaks, it never gets referenced again, so there's not going to be any crash. The program does crash, but if the memory fills up, you can catch that in some cases. Well, memforget was introduced to tell the compiler Anyways, in Rust, all libraries are archived. This isn't JavaScript, but we have left pad incidents. Breaking changes are only introduced in Rust editions. We have Rust 2015, 2018, 2021 edition, and this is actually Rust 2023 signature edition. It's actually signed by Graydon himself. Well, the fiasco with Tokyo is, so a join handle from a task you spawn can get out of scope. Now, there are two schools of thought. Some think the task should be aborted. The others don't really think at all. I will say it. Rust is in all things top of the hill, king of the castle, head of the competition. For all things C or ASM, Rust is good. Yeah, for functional programming, it's Haskell and Rust. Rust is king of the castle. Yeah, they don't want unsafe in my trade. Just stuff it all into macros. The C++ code is bigger, but not as organized as ours. In Rust development, a lot changes. Usually when you find a bug, you fix it. When Rust users find a bug, they complain about it in GitHub issues for 2 years before the project owner steps down. WebAssembly. What was the question? In other programming languages, the documentation ends with a cookie clicker. In Rust, it ends with a multi-threaded, high-performance, fully functional web server. Yeah, there are a lot of jobs for Rust. Most are for startups that do some blockchain stuff and then go bankrupt in a year. I joined a couple of startups like that in the past months. All those startups wanting to become unicorns. I'm not crazy about that. We got this as new merch from our company. Monorepo in Rust and bindings to all other languages. That's the future of programming. Hugo, Zula, Node, Dino, Wireshark, SniffNet, Bitcoin, Solana, Go, GoScript, GNU, Haskell. Okay, you can use Haskell. I mean, I would like to publish my DNA as a crate, but crates.io has a 10 megabyte limit. Oh, I use Iced.
So, Iced is the best one.
It's the most complete one. It is very easy to rewrite everything in Rust because you get karma points on Reddit. By the way, this code actually also runs on mobile in a wrapper that I wrote in Rust. Yeah, Rust is an interesting mix of C++, OCaml, Haskell, Dota, JavaScript.
JavaScript?
I meant Lisp.
Oh, is it the timer for the coffee?
No, I just finished compiling. Map error exists, but its method trademark. Rust allows for hybrid approaches, allowing for productive kernel incrementalism instead of whole project rewrite. We'll still do the whole project rewrite. I'm actually rewriting Windows to Rust. This will give it some credit. There will never be a Rust version 2.0 because the language is perfect. Technically, it means because the syntax is adaptable, but the other phrase sounds better. Took 15 years for case statements to arrive in Python. Think about it. You don't adapt the program to the language in Rust. You adapt the language to the program. We decided to introduce the yeet keyword after a well-mannered discussion, which will make everyone equally unhappy. Rust is very simple to learn. I'm actually writing an introduction to the language right now. It is mainly aimed at readers already familiar with Haskell or OCaml.
Yeah, but nobody knows Haskell. We're all looking to learn Rust.
Come back after you learn Haskell. Normie. We didn't say it's a programming language for everybody, just for the elite. But everyone is welcome. That is ready to join the cult. Community. Reliability. Speed. Productivity. Pick 4. Why Rust? It has 3 main benefits. Rust versus Java? Well, that's an easy one. Pokemon Go? We have Pokemon Rust. Yes, we did. And you don't even catch Pokemon. Just random runtime exceptions. We really hate repetitions in Rust. Into, inner, unwrap. We don't like unreadable code in Rust. Option, RC, ref cell. There are different types of macros. I don't need to go over them, right? So let's learn another meta programming language called pattern matching. Is that your repo? Let's start by setting up cargo. Everyone cares about random tools written in Rust. Everybody cares. Look at all the startups hiring. Although it's mostly startups doing blockchain stuff that will go bankrupt in a year. I joined a couple of those. My job? Rust. My hobby? Rust. My ideology? Rust. My profile pic? Rust. I'm fully oxidized at this point. It's not a cult. We're now actually rewriting politics to Rust. I think Rust is here to stay forever. No more JavaScript, TypeScript, CoffeeScript, MochaScript variations. Rust is the end. Actually, we don't use Rust, we use Gluon. Yeah, I'm actually currently writing a bio about my programming journey. It starts with, so let's see how we can rewrite your code to Rust.